very good morning to all the ladies and gentlemen present here. First of all, I would like to give a disclaimer that we may be leading a panel session on this topic of sustainability and green building, but we are not as knowledgeable as the esteemed audience here. So we will be sharing the best practices of the industry to what our organizations do, but the knowledge definitely is in the room. So don't count that they are more knowledgeable or we are the experts. So thank you. So there has been a tremendous rise in the conscious investors in India and across the globe who are not only concerned with the financial disclosures this time, but also the non-financial disclosures of the company. There is no boardroom where discussions around ESG not happening. And but what is sustainability? So when we Google that word sustainability, and the Hindi word comes to be as tikau, something which is working in the present, but also take you to the future and sustain there, right? So sustainability, is a practice about ecological, human, economic health and vitality. So, the construction of the buildings and other infrastructures using sustainable technologies and materials is the key to this type of initiative. A green or sustainable building is a building that, because of its construction and features, can maintain or improve the quality of life of the environment in which it is located. Without much delay, I would like to introduce myself. I am Neelam Chhabra, AVP Facilities in Max Life Insurance. At Max Life, we keenly take note of the developments occurring in the sphere of ESG and best practices followed by the companies to advance the ESG framework. Last year, India submitted 5 nectar elements, famously known as Panchamrit, to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change 1. Max Life does not form part of energy intensive sector, but recognizing the responsibility it owes to the government and society. It made the commitment to reduce the carbon emissions by 80% by 2030. We have actively taken efforts for the tree plantation drive and awareness on financial literacy even to the rural households. Now I would like to introduce my co-panelists, and I would request each one of you to introduce about yourself and about what your organizations are doing to take this initiative forward, which is sustainability and the green building. So Sanjay, we start with you.
I am Sanjay Shishodia. I am leading corporate services at Hero MotoCorp, and I'm taking care of digitization and sustainability for the company for all Hero offices. As an organization, we are way ahead, and we are doing a lot on sustainability, ensuring that not only we do a lot of action on sustainability, but we build culture. Make uh, we are making our employees as an ambassadors on sustainability. People should have a habit and attitude towards sustainability, not only on the workspace or work areas, but across their social lives. This is from me.
Yeah, and Sanjay, also I would like to add here, it's not about the KRA or the KPI I have been driven to work in my organization. It's the passion I carry, and ESG is has to be done with passion. It's not just a tick in the box. I in the previous sessions, Colonel Narang, hats off and love to you. Yes, Manu.
Hi, myself Mannu. If I talk about myself, I have 20 years of experience in terms of my qualification. I am accidental facility manager and I proudly say that. I learn it, relearn it and still learning it. In terms of qualification, if I talk about, I am FMP certified, MCR certified, I'm SHE certified, I'm sustainability certified, I'm lean certified, and I'm Six Sigma certified. So just completed my master's again in real estate just a 1 month back and now searching for new one. So if I talk about from my organization, currently my bread and butter is Carelon Global Solutions. And what I learn in this organization, and we are intending to do that, intent versus action. Being very open, we all the facility managers having know about sustainability, want to do it, actually we are doing it or not doing it, we only know that. When I entered into this room, being very open, I really feel bad because this session is about sustainability and we are still using the plastic bottles.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. So we as a facility manager or the in charge of the events must ensure that if we talk about it, we will have to implement it, right? So it's about the passion and the living to do that stuff. Maybe in the future, a discussion, I will be in touch what we are doing in terms of in our organization and in terms of my past experience. But what I can say that intent versus actions should speak it. And when you have intent, your action will itself speak it.
Good morning. It's still morning, 9 minutes to 12 o'clock. My name is Amar Shetye. I'm the Global Operations Head for what we call Resource Management Group, RMG, at TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. And as you would have seen in our advertisements and other media, Tata Group as such and TCS as well included, we have a huge focus on green buildings and sustainability. It is a continuous passion, as the word was used, and it is done from the heart just to carry forward the example of plastic bottles. I think we switched to glass bottles maybe 5 years back. Of course, it's expensive, but there's a cost attached to this. We have about 500,000 employees in India, and we have about 24 million square feet of space, which is owned space, which is our own campuses in India. And I'm very proud to say 64.6% of that are qualified as green buildings. I work out of the Pune office. It's called Sahyadri Park, and that is a LEED Green Gold certified building. Even the other campuses, we have large campuses in Chennai, in Kolkata, one coming up in Noida here. Some of you would have heard of it. Trivandrum, Kochi, and a few other not so big but pretty big in Mumbai. And all of these are green buildings. The intent of the company is to continue building the new facilities as green facilities. We are also inculcating this culture in our supply chain. Then one is the capital expenditure part of it, but more of the expense is our running expense. So we are very careful about how we run our operations effectively. So these are the 3 or 4 goals that we have as an organization. Also, to talk about numbers, we had set a target for ourselves of 70% carbon neutral by 2025, and I'm very happy to state that as of end of last year, 2023, we are already at 71%, which means we beat our own target by 2 years. And 2030 is when we are intending to make all our facilities in India carbon neutral. As far as our facilities overseas, particularly in the US, Latin America, Middle East and Africa, Asia Pacific are concerned, we are already at zero level. Thank you.
Very.
Thank you. Still morning, I guess. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Rishi Pawah. I head engineering and maintenance for Noida International Airport. So my career span, I've been always a maintenance guy, and it was a profession by choice, and which has led me to this place as of now. So in my career, I have started, mostly I have started building small IT parks, and now I've got this opportunity, which is a very exciting opportunity to start one of the leading airport, which is going to be the biggest airport in the country. And once all the phases are started, it will be the leading airport. It is the biggest airport in the Asia region. Now, since we are all talking about ESG, the hot buzzword in these days, I think what I would like to add here is it is not, ESG is not possible without data. I mean, you have to measure it, and now things have reached to a level where artificial intelligence and machine learning are taking over it. So for a facility management professional,
uh, in the previous forum, it was discussed that it is a golden era, which I absolutely agree, because we are sitting on a wealth of data. And as we all know, IT is entering into every household, every individual life, and this is also very important to understand that it, for us facility managers, it is not just knowing about the maintenance part, but knowing about the IT, how it can support in using this knowledge and achieving our ESG goals. But looking forward for a healthy discussion on this around along with the panelists.
Thank you, Rishi. Definitely, IT plays a vital role in what our data says and what the governance we need to bring to the table through the ESG. Where we would talk about the E, we would talk about the S. The governance is also as important and vital for our kind of roles. So my first question goes to Manu. Uh, on technology only, how does technology play a role in advancing sustainability goals in building? If we talk of technology, it has to make some noise, right? So Manu, and this question would also be pushed to Amar to add on. Yes, Manu.
As I always start my conversation with having the intent versus action, we all know that various types of technologies are available. Are we using it 100%? That we have to set the question to us. We all know that from last 20 years, maybe we have a BMS. Are we actually using 100% BMS? Or we still have a checklist where our electrician guy go and just record that stuff. So we need to be check ourselves what we are doing. In terms of if we talk about electrical vehicles, right? This is part of technology. We all are monitoring how many kilometers they are driving and so on, okay? Are we really checking the source of that electrical charges? Is still that is a recyclable one? Or we are just getting from the thermal power only, right? So that is also play a technology role that we are checking from the end what we are doing in terms of that stuff. In terms of if I talk about, we all know about that motion sensors, saving the light. If I will have this question from the audience, I will not get 10 hands also. I know, right, by the studies. So HVAC, lighting and blinds are still not integrated in 90% offices. So if we talk about the technology, are we really using it? That's the question for us. We all know that sunlights are important, that is a vitamin D and so on. You got energy, workplace experience team, use the sunlight, designing and all that stuff. Are we have the blinds in our office, right, with the help of technology that will work based on the movement of the sun? And I again bet, Neelam, 90% of the offices do not have it because we all talk it, but we don't want to invest that apex, opex, capex, whatever we want to do it. So what I want to throw on the table, we all know that what's available in the market. COVID has given us a lots of learning, right? Touchless offices, right? COVID spread from the touching and so on. We played a small type of attachment on our doors by using it to open it, by having uses, or maybe by having use of the keys. We all played, we are all Indians. Have the new offices which has been built from last after COVID 2022 is all touchless offices? I again bet 90% of the offices still don't have a touchless office. And I proudly say that our complete office is having the technology based on the sensor-based movement, right? We just touch the door and it's open. Not touch the door, just waving the hands. Even we recently, because again, technology itself gives us the challenging not to be have 100% correct. We recently have the motion sensors in our washrooms also, okay? That wave the hands or when we move, it automatically open. And we are getting lots of complaints from the female washrooms, right? Because it's a technology. If they sense even small movement also, it's open, right? So we're getting the challenging because females are using the washrooms and seeing the mirror and the door is orderly open by having some waves length also. So technology gave us various challenges, but we are trying our best to use it for stuff. Last example I want to give. everybody knows there are lots of WhatsApp groups available, and then air to water, you can generate water from air, okay? How many of us have been tested even that we can have the water from the air? Again, I'm blindly saying that 90% of the people or the facility manager professional even not tried it. It's just a normal video which has been circulated on the WhatsApp, and we have not have the courtesy to call those vendors. ये वाकई में कुछ है या खाली वीडियो ही बनाया हुआ है? And I can proudly say that we have tested that also, right? We try to convert air to water, okay? But if I talk about, because we have an in-house facility, we don't have the privilege like what we have our friends, right? Open space, we are able to generate 24 hours, we are able to generate only 17 to 20 liters of water. And that is costing us around 1700 rupees for 20 liters jar. We are still fighting the waste to use the technologies, okay? But we have an intent. So I just want to throw on the table
Mannu,
three
I
from
agree.
that perspective.
I agree. There are some pros, there are some cons of a particular implementation of the technology. We have to find a solution and have a win-win situation. So over to Amar to add on to the technology part of the sustainability.
I think very good points made by my colleague Manu. And one important takeaway from what she said is technology is available, and we have to make the right use of it, and we have to adopt it as early as possible. And some of the, I have my points here, so I'll be referring to my phone, paper notes, but I don't want to miss anything. But yes, TCS being a technology company primarily, obviously, if we don't adopt it, then who will? So what we have done is we have upgraded the fans that are in the HVAC system, which are used for the air handling units, AHUs, oilless centrifugal chillers with bearings that are either magnetic or ceramic, so that reduces the friction. So these are more efficient. LED lights, what I think Manu touched upon, LED lights with sensors. I think that's very basic, and these can be used in passages during late hours where only not too many people would be working the third shift, and it does not make any sense to have all the lights in the common areas or passages on, and they could just be, or the parkings for that matter. Our parkings have sensors for the lights, so only suppose someone's parked a car in the corner, then as he walks towards that, once he comes down from the elevator and he walks towards the car, then those lights come up. Otherwise, they're just going to stay on for 12 hours with hardly anyone really using them. Then as far as motors are concerned, we have EFF1 rated motors. That is, we've changed over to that in the last couple of years. Elevators with high efficiency gearless motors. So essentially, wherever we are able to save electricity, all those have been adopted. One interesting thing, and I think we have that as a product for sale as well, is all our offices. I spoke about 23.8 million square feet of space across the country, more than 15 cities, which is owned by TCS. So all of that is monitored by IoT energy management system. So our office in Trivandrum, we have a team where entire data related to the energy usage, primarily all of us know heating and cooling is where, and cooling in our context in India, is where most of our electricity goes. So that is completely monitored. We have VRF systems, which sends the load, and only the refrigerant would flow in that quantity to that part of the office. So all these have been implemented, and we have seen substantial savings in that. Then of course, solar panels, that's a no-brainer. Everyone, even I know so many people who have their own houses, put solar panels on their terraces, and that is more than sufficient for the heating of water that is required. And offices, of course, at home probably people have to think about the initial cost, but when it comes to corporates, there's always an ROI calculation. So all of us know that there is a very defined period of ROI for the solar panels. So all of these are some of the technology things. But nothing that I spoke about is new. All of us in this field are aware of it, but as Mannu referred to, how soon are we going to adopt that? Because that is capex, and all of us know difficult it is for us to go to finance and make our proposals.
My next question was around that, Amar. You know, same question to all four of you. You represent different industries, manufacturing and corporate and technology and airport. And just two sentences as an answer to this. Do your finance team make much ado about nothing of giving you capex and asking about what is the ROI and how much time would you take to give us the investment back? So, Sanjay, hero.
Certainly, there has to be a logic and rational. We have to ensure that we are bringing again some returns on what we are investing.
So
But it is important.
Did they make noise about and
Yes,
there was a
yes,
discussion
certainly.
about?
But we had a discussion on that, and things which were important are done. I told you what I said earlier also. We here as an organization, we were not looking as we were going 360 degrees, ensuring that we are covering our dealers, we are covering our supply chain, we are covering our organizations. As to enumerate, I can say we are LEED certified, we are IGCBC certified. We are, all our entire organization is single-use plastic free certified, and in fact we are beyond. We don't. We in an organization, in our organization, we don't use glass bottle even because producing glass, the energy consumed or is higher than what you spend on plastic. So we go.
That's
Yes,
a revelation.
yes. We
People talk about the single
Yes.
use plastic, but Sanjay is giving us the information that making glass bottles is, much more energy consumption it takes for
Yes.
as compared to the plastic.
So we use steel bottles. In fact, we don't
Very
use notepads at all in our organization. We are going E. Either you carry a mobile or laptops, and we have, if per se you have to use a stationery, there is green or we have sustainable stationery across the board. We are, again, I am still stressing, we are building on culture across the level. We are asking people to accept. We don't have tissue papers, not even sustainable tissue papers. We have dryers installed in our organization. There are these, similar to this, there are many steps which have been taken across the organization to ensure that we come up as a sustainable, and we are making leaders, we are making ambassadors who practice this, and this is floated across all channels and all levels. Yes, for that, what your question was, we have to bring sense to that. We are working to bring in ROI that we can do. Again, there are methods like having solar light to that saves on cost that we can bring in. And similarly, optimizing on use of stationery and using E is where we can save on the cost we were doing, which was very high earlier. All our MICE events, we ensure what Manu said, that it has to be sustainable, it has to have ESG, it has to have balance, and that is done in ESG. Whenever we are ordering even food, this is a small thing. When any employee orders food from outside, he'll ensure that when he gets that, it has to be from a place which gives a sustainable packing. They should not be plastic, or suppose he's ordering a cake, a small example. He'll ensure that he'll tell them not to send any plastic crockery with that, because that is how you have to ensure, one, you don't use, second, you don't order, and you also ensure that your social circle around is not using plastic or say things which are not sustainable.
So through this forum, we should request the Zomatos and Swiggies also to say that are they packed in the single-use plastic packing or not. So they should declare that, and we should take a call of ordering them only, and the rating should be based on that. So my input here. So Manu, just few sentences. We have more questions.
Yeah.
And few sentences on how you could convince the finance team on the investment you did for particular project to make a sustainable office.
First of all, it's difficult for sure. We all struggle, right? But if the goal is for the sustainability first goal, we can convince that for sure, right? What we do as a different from the other organization, we try to cover everything in our agreements when we sign from the landlord perspective, right? Everybody talk about the green energy. We do understand 100% green energy is not possible if that is you are in the builder floors, right? Because energy is providing by them only, right? So what we have done differently in terms of that, we marked in our agreement by 2025, 2026, you have to provide us 50% green energy. So how he can provide the green energy? He don't have the space to have the solar panel everywhere, and then only he will provide to us. So what we are doing is a different one. We're trying to provide some extra amount to him. And then in the thermal power, where the Gujarat in having, right, having generating that green energy that will be generated into the national thermal power plant. And then we are buying from that perspective. So what I want to convey this message, it will start from the starting onwards and then move it out. And when we build our office in the 6 years, we are 18,000 plus employees. We have around 15 lakh plus square feet area in India in just 6 years, right? So we work on the circular economy and don't fight after that. Thank you.
Your question was how easy or difficult it is to convince finance team. Tata Group as such, I think it has a huge commitment to ESG, to green buildings. So I think in my personal experience, it has not been as difficult as it would to get money for other projects, some other projects that also are essential, but probably the struggle that we go through is more. But when it is to do with green buildings and towards sustainability, I don't think it's been a big challenge from my side.
I think it's a top-driven approach. If it's a discussion in the boardroom and the CEO has pledged some kind of ESG initiative, he would definitely, tell the CFO to give that money. So Rishi, in the Noida International Airport, how are you progressing towards the ROI segment and how finance is helping you there?
I think we address this very nicely, and there is no doubt it's a top-down approach. And the companies, the funding companies, the equity, private equities, and other companies are also putting money with a condition with the COVID that and looking at your ESG sustainability scores and your reporting and your governance around that. So it's not a challenge in a way, but the question is primarily in terms of when technology also we all know how the way technology is evolving. So we are committing to a rate, especially in terms of solar, which is I guess somewhere around it is hovering somewhere around 4 rupees, and somewhere I've even heard that it has gone below 4 rupees as well. And with the technology, and you're committing it, these are power purchase agreement for 25 years. So there's a bit of a challenge because you're committing these rates for 25 years. So there's a bit of a dialogue between the finance team. How do we, find a solution around that?
Very modestly, he said dialogue between finance. There is definitely a debate.
So it's about ESG, so it's more of a dialogue, not a monologue anymore. But yeah, that's how. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Rishi. My next question is, mainly ESG takes the E part more. People talk about environment, talk about sustainable practices, but don't touch upon, and I would say with my experience of the discussions what we have, don't touch upon the social part much. As social, what are your companies doing to make this, maybe financially literate as my company is doing? Having specially abled employees in the company, having diverse workforce in the boardroom, which is, women also taking up, uh, the different genders also coming on board in the leadership role or in the boardroom or in the workforce. So, are your companies taking over that kind of pledge to have the social part also as very emphatic? Hero Group.
Yeah, our company is working very high on DNI. We call it DNI here. And we have, in fact, our offices and our manufacturing units are built that way, which welcomes everyone. And we have, in fact, our female percentage we are working because we have been given a mandate to go up to 30%. And our board constitutes of around 23%. It is also
Very
to go
impressive.
to 30%. So that is how we are working. We are highly committed on social. We are doing a great on CSR. We have adopted many villages, created many ponds. In fact, we have been recently awarded also by various bodies on doing CSR activities in social ground.
Very
Thank you.
impressive. In Max Life, we hired specially able, I have to define the kind of ability. He was deaf and dumb as the pantry boy. And, there were some challenges. The CEO used to call on the landline, but he could not hear or he could not respond. So I had to have another girl to respond to the queries, write the order for him to give the coffee to the CEO. So such challenges also come, but how you mitigate and how you respond to those is also something what you should take as facility managers. Yes, Manu.
Yeah, so adding to what you were mentioning, we also have the diverse team members, even in my own team, like the pantry boy you were talking about, and so on. And again, we have lots of challenges. We're trying to learn the sign languages also, but being very open, nobody is ready to learn it. But still, that person is educated, that a grace. We communicate normally on the WhatsApp, right? In terms of the facility, if we talk about, we provide the facility in that way that even everybody from LGBTQ, there are lots of now the genders, bifurcation, other than the, then if we talk about female versus male, we promote that also. And being surprised that I sometimes am surprised to see that persons, that how much struggle they have, right? We have a special committee called Belong, which work on that thing so that people are aware about these stuff and they don't smile or they just not pass the messages like they are not comfortable and then resign also. Being very open, I was also not comfortable before few years if I talk about, but now I relearn. When I talk to those people, I interview those people, right, and they learn about their own story, that how much they have a struggle in the mind when they convince themselves about that yes, they are from that category, right? So we must have a soft corner about it. And from promoting that stuff, if I talk about, I invite everybody to in our office whenever you have a time and you can come. So we take care of very, very small thing. Even we have the persons who I'm telling about the Belong committee, that person is blind, right? So we have that infrastructure ready that if that person is in office, he will not have any challenging. Starting from the tactile tiles, wheels, when he's on the floors, he can monitor which floor he is. Everything from that perspective, we are taking care and we are learning that stuff. We are not saying that we are 100% ready, but every day he is providing us different type of feedback and we're trying to work on that perspective. So being from the open mind and delivering that stuff is our goal, and we're trying to deliver in that way. Even though last week we have tried to, we have buy one of the special wheelchair which is required by that person to move into our office because he cannot come every day in his own wheelchair from Delhi to office and then office to our second floor and then third floor and then everything is gone on. So we have buy the wheelchair from that person. That wheelchair will be in office and he can communicate. So we will go on that level to have the X factor which Samir has mentioned in one of his slides, X experience, right? So we will try to cover from all the perspective rather than only women and male generation, to cover from that everything from circle to economic and upper to the down.
Thank you. Amar, in TCS, how are you making the offices equipped to handle this kind of workforce where they are specially able? What all checklists you have for making the office ready for that?
Yeah. Neelam, I would want to go back to the previous question because I think TCS as an organization, we have 37% women. And that's because of the industry in which we operate. We are able to have that kind of women workforce. Also, we have a D&I committee, which is headed by a senior vice president level person. And all this is taken up, with the very right intent and very seriously. So I was tempted to answer that, so pardon me for that. And to answer your current question, as I said in answer to one of your earlier questions, all the buildings that we design newly, the new campuses that are coming up, including the one in Noida, these are completely designed for differently abled people to navigate through the office. So, most of the points that we heard from Mannu, those are all addressed in terms of special software where a person without eyesight will be able to still know where he is, and very specific software designed for that. Of course, all buildings are wheelchair enabled, and even when we have the fire drills, at that time also, there are very specific instructions to the fire wardens of each of the floors or each of the sections. I mean, each floor could be thousands of square feet. Where the wheelchairs are kept. So there are wheelchairs kept on each floor I call it fire drill because thankfully actual fire doesn't take place, but we do have, as per the mandate, we do have fire drills every quarter, and all of that is practiced very seriously, where those people will put on the wheelchair. There are people assigned, because you will not have office help at that point of time, so the colleagues would wheel him to the right, and then one elevator is kept for them. Other elevators are not supposed to be used during the drills and all of that. So all of that is in place.
Thank you. Rishi, although we know airports are equipped enough for managing, the visitors, the customers who are coming, who are specially abled and wheelchair enabled, facility is built. Is there something which is extra which we should know and, in Noida International Airport?
I think what I can share here is that there's a special skill set which is hired to take care in the design of the terminal. The whole experience of the specially able person is being looked into to give that kind of an experience so that he reaches the gate from his parking without any trouble, without any assistance. But also we have a segment in our team where the hospitality department is also looking into it differently to take care of this category of the passengers reaching Noida International Airport.
Thank you. When is it getting launched?
I think you will hear it in the newspaper. I'll let the.
He's reserving the comments.
We are routed for end of this year. And you will hear it in the newspaper from the politicians.
Samir will be flying very often from that airport. So last question, which is open to all. Do you have a consultant onboarded for the ESG agenda, or as facility managers, you have an add-on added to your KRA this year or last year?
One, we have employees who are specialized, who have been hired. We don't have a consultant. And we as an employees again are qualified, and we manage, and we have taken added-on responsibility because this is an ongoing process.
Exactly.
It's a continuous improvisation on our skills year on year, quarter on quarter, I'll say. We do that, and in fact, we report to our board every quarter what have we achieved further, and we give a very stringent target to not only to ourselves and ensure a cross level, and try to cover all aspects, whether it be energy optimization or say water conservation. One subject we have not touched is waste management, which is again one of the key of all sustainable practices.
It's a vast subject.
It's a vast subject,
and everyone should learn about it.
And sustainable transport, and say green offices or biophilic units we should have, and sustainable utilities is what we use across all the organization. And we ensure that we do our best as an organization. So we have our team, and now, as I said, we are creating leaders, ambassadors across all functions.
Exactly. That's what we are here for. It's a BCP which we need to transform business continuity of particular ESG, and it's showing times up. But one question to all: yes, no. Do you have a consultant on board, or you have that?
So we have a subject matter expert, plus we will hire the consultant when we want to do any of the certification. Like for example, LEED, we hired the consultant. We are doing 3 more certification. We have separate consultant for that to guide us and to do it as earliest. So both the things we are doing.
For day-to-day operations, I think we have internal staff, But as Mannu mentioned, for very specialized things, certifications, we would employ them for a limited period of time.
Rishi, you yourself are SME.
No, we have a separate department as well, and we all are contributing to it. It is a very exciting project for all of us. It is a first-time greenfield airport. We don't have any data precedented for that particular region, for that particular design of airport. It's a very exciting. I will not say challenging, but very exciting to develop our ESG guidelines, and we also want to be the first net zero airport, and the work which is being put into around this support from each and every department is there. Right from top to bottom, everyone is supporting there. And of course, we do have a good team of consultants on board to help us achieve that.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Mohit has guided me that questions should be taken during the lunch because we have more panels to discuss. Thank you so much and clap for this esteemed panel.